In the early 20th century, America, if not the world, was a predominantly male-run endeavor. Men were the businessmen, the presidents, pilots, mechanics, warfighters, moneymakers, you name it. Most men would find it rather funny to imagine a woman anywhere outside the home. After all, she was for domestic duties. Women were the caretakers and should spend time cooking, cleaning, caring for the children, and most importantly, being of use to the man. But things were starting to change. Women were starting to change. Ideas were starting to change. No longer did women have the desire to keep the tired old adage that kept them oppressed for so long. Women have voices. Women have rights. It was time for women to step into a more prominent role in society and for their identities to be seen and for their voices to be heard. The Age of Aviation. Amelia Earhart, a pioneer for women in not only the aviation realm, but in the professional sphere for women as a whole. She was a boundary breaker, a record setter, and a timeless inspiration. It was through her trials and tribulations that changed many of the long-held perspectives of what a woman should, or even could, be capable of accomplishing. Her first feat, the transatlantic flight. Why was this so important for not only a woman to do, but any human in general? Planes at the time, while great displays of human engineering, were more akin to flying death traps. These attempts, while crazy, were a necessary risk for the advancement of technology and the future of aviation. Charles Lindbergh set the bar high by being the first man to accomplish the transatlantic flight. Inspired by this event, Amelia was contacted and offered a sponsorship if she'd be willing to potentially be the first female pilot to complete this task. She enthusiastically agreed and set off on the adventure. The world eagerly awaited the news of her survival of this perilous passage. The mission was a success, and she quickly became a symbol to people, and women, all over. She proved to the whole world that women were just as capable as men in doing something so great and so monumental in our history. Through this act alone, her sheer willingness for such an out-of-the-ordinary adventure shattered the stigmas that women were only meant to stay in the home, that women were only capable of staying in the home, that women were too frail or soft to make it in a man's world. It wasn't that she merely was a woman who broke the gender barrier and made history. It was that she continued to push the boundaries and the oppressive notions placed on women to be meek, meager, quiet, or subservient. She continued to be a symbol of inspiration and can be quoted writing the following words of empowerment. All kinds of minds in all kinds of schools and laboratories, or alone in cubbyholes, are trying to work out theoretical details of efficient flight. Helping them are those who put the theories to practical use. That women will share in these endeavors, even more than they have in the past, is my wish and prophecy. The woman who can create her own job is the woman who will win fame and fortune. Some of us have great runways already built for us. If you have one, take off. But if you don't have one, realize it is your responsibility to grab a shovel and build one for yourself and for those who will follow after you. The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. The fears are paper tigers. You can do anything you decide to do. You can act to change and control your life. And the process is its own reward.